I figured today we'd get into a little bit more about what the car is and what's done to it and what the 9-second recipe is really, naturally aspirated. But first, I got a pretty cool opportunity this last weekend to go out to the Gator Nationals, and I filmed some of the races there. I figured I'd show some of that, and that was just such a great time. Never got to see that before. Didn't think Top Fuel cars would be that loud, but we'll put some of that racing in there, and then we'll get to this thing. Big thanks to my brother for getting me those tickets. He actually got those tickets from a rep and just give me the chance to go with him. That was an awesome time. But let's get back to this thing. Went and got new tires and got the car home. And I actually noticed that this little vent was just sitting down in the frame rail there. So I knew I had a problem. I heard a little bit of a rattling going on. And the little nut, I guess you could call it, done came loose and fell down into the cylinder head. Went down and sat right there. Didn't really hurt anything. We look pretty good here. So I actually just went through and checked the valve lash and adjusted some of it up a little bit. Not too much to really adjust, just tightened up a couple, just a tiny bit. And we're going back together. All right, so I went to check the valves on the driver's side here. I actually found a little piece of debris in the back corner just sitting there. Thank God I saw it. It's actually what looks to be, let's get some better light here, looks to be like a lash cap or something. It's hollow on one end. Yeah, it's like a lash cap, goes over the valve. So set that down. Upon a closer look-see here, the cylinder number 6, I think that is, the intake valve here is like mega loose floppy, and it looks like there's no lash cap on it. And even the exhaust valve up here seems loose for what it should be, because like, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. I'm gonna take the girdle off and get to it. We're gonna see what we can do. So the girdle is off, and you can see how each rocker is gold, but this one here has those little marks. Has those little marks on the rocker where it was rubbing. So and it's really loose. This whole thing is loose here. Tight. Yeah, that sucker's loose. Like the rocker arm is finger loose. Like that was finger loose. Wow. Yep, there's little marks on it. The roller looks like it's got some marks here and there, but not like anything I can feel. So it looks like it might be okay. But that lash cap has to go on there. So let's see if this thing's gonna be okay. So the marks on the top here, you can't hardly even feel them either. It's like it just barely got the coating off. So we're gonna see if I can get the lash cap on there and just put it back together. We'll see how it goes. You can see the push rod where it was maybe trying to rub on things. You can't even feel it with your fingernail either here. It's just like it rubbed the coating off, so I think we're getting lucky here. Alright guys, I threw the lash cap on there. Got it set to the 12 thousandths lash that I need. I'm going to put the stud girdle back on, and we'll check all the lash on all of them. We'll see what we got. We might run it and we'll see if it makes any noise. Okay, so girdle's back on. All of them look like they have good travel, clean and clear. Seems like they're working. So order of operations, in case you didn't know, for doing valve adjustments, what we did is 12 thousandths on the intake and 14 thousandths on the exhaust. So when the exhaust rocker starts to go down, when you're starting to open the exhaust valve, you're going to adjust the intake valve. And then when the intake valves start to close, so they'll go all the way down and they'll start coming back up, it'll start to close, and then you'll check your exhaust. Then do that for every single cylinder. All right, we're all put back together. Hopefully everything's good. We're gonna find out here in a second. We're gonna fire it up. Yeah, that most definitely sounded a lot better. So I think we're good to go in the valve event department. But just to give you an idea of what it is and give you the 9-second recipe, I guess you'd call it. That's a 9.5 deck 351 base motor, AFR 220 heads, big solid roller cam, talking 750 plus lift, 266 280 duration, big stuff. At least for me, going from street car stuff, that's pretty big stuff. Got the IRD Rated R Dominator carburetor, BMP, Bill Mitchell products with the intake, big 4500 Dominator single plane. Nothing that special, to be honest. It is a nitrous motor. It's meant to be spraying up to like 400 or 500 shot of nitrous. Obviously we're not doing that. I really couldn't even get a plate on this under that carburetor without cutting through the hood, so we're not going to do that. I really want to do a blow-through setup, and with it being a nitrous setup already,
that would work out just fine. I will eventually do have to cut the hood just to fit a big old hat on there, but we'll get to that one day when it comes. Aerospace components, vacuum pump, gets a little bit of vacuum in the motor so we're not leaking out of every hole. People say it makes a little more horsepower, whatever, 10, 15, 20 horsepower, that's cool. Alternator and radiator, because streetcar life, just in case. Trans cooler down here, keeping the Turbo 400 nice and cool. It's an FTI stage 4.5, I think. 400, big nitrous converter, so obviously running it on motor is pretty tight. So that doesn't help us that much in the traction department when we're trying to leave, but we're gonna make it work. That's pretty much it as far as it goes up here. Probably about 650 horsepower, small block Ford, just doing its deal. Full AJE, K-member and tubular front suspension stuff. Fun jazz inside here. No door panels, streetcar class. I need some of those and I can come for you. Intellitronics gauges up here. They're pretty cool actually. They're kind of cheap I think though. Got the tack up here. Gotta have one of those, big boomer tack for the carburetor guys. Arc switch panel, easy stuff, nothing special. Don't mind all the rags and the junk, just kind of from wiping stuff down. All the wiring is really tucked up under the dash here, which it's a composite fiberglass dashboard. Comes out with a few Zeus, but all the wiring's tucked up under there. The nice little Momo, I think, I don't know, it's got Momo written on it. It just came that way. Pretty cool. We put the buttons in here for line lock, trans brake, 2 pedals. One day I need 3 of those because I would love to take this thing when it's got a Pro Charger and go stick shift whooping up on them guys. But simple little shifter, reverse manual valve body deal. 850 cage. Comes up all around, good stuff. It's kind of tucked up, not really, doesn't look that tucked up here, but it tucks up in there okay. Remember, me and my buddy, we didn't really do any of this. Car came just like this. All we did was suspension under the back, mini tub stuff, all the really nasty good stuff. Corbeau seat, race equip stuff, gotta be safe as I can. This here is a brand new set of Mickey Thompson Pro Drag radials, Radial Pros, whatever you call them. They are 275 60R15s. It's a 28-inch tire. This is going to be our main component in getting us to hook now, because the old tires were from 2014. This is just going to be a whole new deal. Now, up under the car, I made a few small changes. So, what I did with the lower control arm was I took that, bumped it down 2 holes. It's going to give us a slight uphill direction of that lower control arm. And up top, I left it the same, but it's almost as far down as it can go. So we're going to be hitting the tire pretty hard, and it's going to try and separate. And what I did up here is I flipped these shock brackets upside down here, raised the shock up, and I got an extra 2.5 inches of travel out of the shocks. So they're nearly bottomed out now. They got like 2 inches up there, but I have like 5 or 5.5 inches of travel that I can use to separate this thing and get it moving on down track. So we're gonna try that out and see how it goes. So now hopefully our traction issue is no more. And now that I've found my valve train issue that I didn't even know I had, I just knew it sounded kind of funny. I just wanted to adjust the valves. Of course, I had it all coming apart in there, so that's fixed. We're good to go. See you at the Little Guy Nationals. Man, after going 640s on 7 cylinders, I'm probably really gonna have to turn this thing down, huh? But we'll see. We'll get out there and we'll find out what we gotta do. Maybe I'll opt into Open Comp or something and try that out. Well, that's gonna be it for today. Fixed our valve train. That was really lucky. Got the rear suspension set up, ready to go. I think we're gonna hook. Got new tires, and yeah, we might actually make 50 to 80 more horsepower with that cylinder actually working correctly now. So we're gonna see what she does.